25 new fragments of the Dead Sea Scrolls have been published in 2 new books. They date back almost 2,000 years and they contain excerpts from the Hebrew Bible. Well, hello there YouTube, I'm Charlotte. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is I.O., where we share what we learn on the interwebs with you and we make it more relatable. Do not forget to stick around to the end of the video where we reply to some of your comments from previous videos. Okay, here we go. The 25 new fragments of the Dead Sea Scrolls are just the beginning. There have actually been around 70 new pieces of the scrolls that have popped up in various antique markets since 2002. So what are the Dead Sea Scrolls? Well, they are these very controversial pieces of history that some historians and archaeologists think are the most significant find of the 20th century. They contain the world's oldest biblical manuscripts, including the Book of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and many more. Fragments of the Book of Nehemiah have not been found until now, but the fragments still need to be authenticated. Some of the fragments have been found to be forged. Why should you care about a bunch of old pieces of paper? Well, they are basically a look into the history and birth of Christianity and Judaism, and how Christians and Jews first began to interact. The scrolls have actually helped historians uncover the history of Palestine, and they have also been used to date the Hebrew Bible to no later than 70 AD, which was right around the time Christianity was just beginning to surface because Christ died less than a century before that. Christianity would not begin to take a strong hold in Europe until several centuries later, but the Dead Sea Scrolls gave historians a look into what was going on in history before that. But no one knows exactly who wrote them, but many think they are the work of Essenes, a Jewish sect that lived in the time that Judea was part of the Roman Empire, which was not a good time if you were Jewish. The first Jewish-Roman war was during 66 and 73 AD. The Dead Sea Scrolls were hidden away in caves at around 70 AD, when there was a Jewish revolt against the Roman Empire. Obviously, someone wanted to preserve these very important manuscripts and prevent them from being stolen or destroyed by the Romans. Romans did like to destroy things. Most of them are written in Hebrew, but some of them are in Greek and Aramaic. But they are in very poor condition because they're really friggin' old. The Dead Sea Scrolls were published when they were first found in caves near the ancient Judean settlement of Qumran between 1947 and 1956 by a group of teenage shepherds. They sold the scrolls to an antiques collector, not knowing they had found some of the most important pieces of manuscripts in history. It was discovered that the scrolls were over 2,000 years old, and archaeologists and treasure hunters frantically tried to find the rest of them. Naturally, the Dead Sea Scroll fragments are worth a lot of money. There are art collectors and historians that would pay a lot of cheddar for a piece of a Dead Sea Scroll. Thousands of fragments of the scrolls were found in 11 separate caves that were part of over 900 manuscripts. Some of these fragments were actually believed to have been forged, but there are some historians that believe that some fragments still remain in the caves. Out of 70 fragments that have shown up recently, only 2 of them appear to be fragments of the 900 manuscripts, which, if you can do the math, is statistically impossible. Some of the fragments look a bit fishy too. The letters look like they've been shoved into the end of broken pieces. You know, like how you run out of space and you cram letters to the edge of the page when you're trying to finish a word. If it was a fragment of a bigger manuscript, those words would not be crammed, they would be chopped off. There was actually such an issue with the fragments being found or forged that the Israeli government put laws in place that stated that if the fragments were found after 1967, people were not allowed to own them or sell them, and they had to give them to the Israeli Antiquities Authority. Obviously, this doesn't stop looters from finding scrolls and selling them on the black market, which is awful because the scrolls contain important parts of Judean culture and also world history. There are those who are doing what they can to preserve these scrolls and their history, including 2 historians who purchased the latest 25 fragments. One of them being art collector Steve Green. He's donated his share to the Museum of the Bible, which will open in Washington, D.C. next year. He's also helping to fund the construction of the museum. I'm glad some people care about world history. Alright guys, I hope you found that interesting. I definitely enjoyed researching it. If you're still watching, I'm now going to reply to some of your comments. Alright, from our Samsung Note video, Anthony M said, Charlotte, do you like sports? I was never really a sports person. I'm really tall, so I was like okay at basketball, but I was definitely more of a dancer. I danced for 10 years before I was 16. Next comment comes from the Goddess on our 7,000-year-old alien airport video. She asked, can you guys make a vid about Kim getting robbed? Well, Miss Goddess, and anyone else interested, if you're wondering why you never see any entertainment news on this channel, it's because it's on our second channel, I.O. Trends. We cover everything going on in the entertainment world. Next comment comes from Reese Evans. Where are you born, Charlotte? I was born in Calgary, Canada, which is really close to where they filmed The Revenant. And last comment comes from Damn DD. I.O. Don't be dumb idiots. If you really believe this bullcrap, prove it. Make an alien search company and track them, dummies. Wow, I never thought about it that way. Who wants to go on an alien hunt with me? Anybody? Anybody? Just me? Okay. Alright guys, that's all for now, and I'll see you guys in another video.